She said to me, "Who do you think you are, Justine?" I said, "Who do I think I am?" I said, "You nearly killed patients a couple of days ago. So you've got a patient that's been left for 18 hours. I mean, I don't think that's acceptable." But what happened is then we're coming into work and we're really trying to save lives because of these rubbish staff that don't know what they're doing. You know, it's just shocking. And then I could tell you tons and tons of incidences. I really could. A DKA, a patient was just left. DKA is diabetic ketoacidosis. Patients were left, right? They don't know insulin. They don't know the pumps. They just don't know nothing. And these are real complex things that you need to know about. I would go home and learn these things, George. You can't just go into work and go, "Oh yeah, I know it," because it just doesn't work that way, you know? And then, like I said, the new scoring end-of-life patients, oh my gosh, just left in agony. So paperwork isn't done. It's all doctored by so many, and especially the rogue nurses, you know, because they don't know what they're doing. So what I have actually got this I'm telling my agency this as well. I said, diazepam and codeine have been going missing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, we've got these drugs going missing. And then a colleague actually found 2 strips of diazepam in the back of a catheter drawer. Guess what? Gave it to a manager and they did nothing. I mean, for these patients, there's loads of times I could go into work, George, and guess what? They were left. They just diazepammed up. So, let's knock a couple in because I couldn't Datex. So you do tell a manager, and I'm actually told on so many occasions, "Don't worry about it, Justine, they've gone home now." But yeah, if something happens to that patient, they go for me. And then with the rogue nurses, right? So the rogue nurse side of it, I reported that to my investigator, right? And I said to her, not being funny, I said, "What's going on?" I said about the rogue nurses. Nothing. And in fact, if anything, everything was covered over.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Go straight back to my conversation with Victoria, that as they seem more concerned obviously with the image and covering things up and try not to admit that there's a problem or anything like that, because then, as you said, they might actually have some work to do. Going back to that incident you mentioned, so for you to understand the severity of what Justine was talking about there, ladies and gentlemen, so diabetic ketoacidosis, for those who might not sure what it is, direct from NHS website, is a serious condition that can happen in people with diabetes. It's where a lack of insulin causes harmful substances called ketones to build up in the blood. It can be life-threatening and needs urgent treatment in hospital. So when you hear that person was left with that for as long as they were, obviously that speaks to the levels of negligence that we're dealing with here.